military takeover, the way it is growing, it might seem like it has come to stay. You see this of Guinea Bissau now. They said they are going to have a 1-year transitional period. You and I know that that's how they always come. And if they are better, like what we saw in Burkina Faso, the people want them to stay. You get the point? Now, 7 states, 7 countries in West Africa is gone already. 7 countries. And these are all Francophone countries. Do you know one good thing about these military takeovers? It disconnects the country from the slavery of their colonial master. That is one good thing you must learn about these countries that have so far gotten out of their dirty democratic rule. Because in Africa, most especially in West Africa, we don't know what democracy is. Like in my country now, you think we are being democratic? Of course, that's not democracy. You cannot call it a democracy where both the executive, the judiciary, and the legislator are all of one arm. They are all APC wing. You don't do that. Now that Mali is gone, Burkina Faso is gone, Niger is gone, Guinea, which is Guinea Conakry, is gone, Sudan is gone, not too long ago, Madagascar, and most recently, Guinea Bissau have all fallen into the hands of military. All of these in the western part of Africa. Shouldn't this be a message to the few that are left? The likes of Nigeria. The good thing about Nigeria is we can't even see any positive, any military in Nigeria that will take over and be better than what we currently have. So I don't think we Nigerians are wishing for any military takeover. We just want a better set of civilians to govern this country. You get the point now? Nigeria has failed its citizens, most especially when it comes to the number one responsibility of a government, protection of life and property of the citizen. The government has failed on this, not because they cannot do anything about it, but because they refused. And perhaps there are toes they don't want to step on. That is not democracy. If Nigeria was a democratic country, the citizen will be enjoying it. Because democracy, they say, is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But is that what we have in Nigeria? No. We have a government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and families. You get the point? That's not democracy. So please, as for the military that have just taken over Guinea-Bissau, please do well to do better than the government you've just overthrew. Because if the government was good enough, I know you will not step in. And if you understand that they were bad and you step in to correct things, please do the right thing. And thank you for releasing my former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who was trapped in there during all these crises and all of that. And when you guys finally let him go, we appreciate you. That man is a peaceful man. Honestly, if he was not a peaceful man, perhaps we would not have had the kind of government we have today. He said, no blood of any Nigerian is worth his ambition. That's why we are where we are now. The man then now believe that the whole Nigeria can burn to ashes for him to retain power. So Jonathan is a peaceful man, even though in his reign he did so many things that we are not in tune with. But at least for respecting him and releasing him and using your military to escort him out of your country, thank you. We look forward to how you govern your people in Guinea-Bissau in the coming days. So as for my Niger people, what do you think? 7 countries so far gone in West Africa. Which country do you think will be next? Or which country do you think deserve to be next? Please drop your thoughts and opinion at the comment section. Nigeria is a country currently crying for leadership. The ECOWAS and AU are mute. They are tight-lips. You won't say a word though. Cameroon, I think we heard about Cameroon's election recently, where a man who is no longer alive contesting and winning election. Even when the people hit the street protesting, ECOWAS and AU became dumb and deaf. And you are ordering who? You are ordering the military. As in you are condemning a military takeover. You can go to Guinea-Bissau now and you will see the people celebrating. I think that would definitely be the case now. And you are condemning what? If the so-called democracy in Guinea-Bissau was working, would military step over? Will they step in? Of course, the answer is not. And then again, my dear country, Nigeria. Nigeria said it's unfortunate. Nigeria condemned coup in Guinea-Bissau. Demand restoration of constitutional order. Nigeria. A man who has a troubled home is going outside to make peace. The most troubled country in the world presently is Nigeria. Not even the Ukraine that is having issue with Russia is as troubled as Nigeria, because there are still peaceful parts of Ukraine where you will go, you won't even know they are at war. But show me one place in Nigeria where the Fulani terrorist is currently not terrorizing in one way or the other. So a government that have not been able to fix their home is telling another country to restore the constitutional order, the same constitution that Nigeria don't obey. I don't want to talk too much about Nigeria, because you guys have exposed yourself to the world enough. But we must know that this...
It didn't fail. They took over. I think this should be a great signal for APC under Tinubu administration. Remember, there was a rumor of the same coup attempt or coup d'etat attempt in Nigeria. The government came and, of course, as usual, debunked and denied it. Because he failed doesn't mean that such will not occur. Me, I'm not an advocate of coup d'etat. I prefer the democracy way we practice than the military regime, because I read history and I know when Nigeria was under military governments. So I'm not advocating for military coup, but the government needs to step up and wake up.
Welcome back to the channel. So we've heard what these people have to say, and it's obvious that a lot of people are frustrated and the suffering is biting. Many of them feel like the leaders that they voted for don't even care anymore. So when they see soldiers stepping in elsewhere, they start to think maybe that is the only way things can change fast. And I think I can understand where that anger is coming from, because when the economy keeps getting worse, insecurity is rising, when government officials, they act like they are doing citizens a favor, people will naturally look for any option that seems like a quick fix. And that's why some Nigerians say that military rule might at least put fear in corrupt politicians and force things to work. Well, at the same time, I just need us to be real on this, because we all know how military government is. It's just like jumping from fire into hot oil. Yes, democracy in Nigeria is frustrating, slow, it's messy, and sometimes disappointing. But military rule comes with its own strong problems. You don't have the freedom to say anything, no elections, no real accountability, and once soldiers enter power, it's hard to get them out. That's the truth. History, it already showed that the military can also misuse power. They can silence people and even worsen the same problems that we complain about. So, while the frustration of Nigerians is valid, I feel like the solution is not to destroy the whole democratic system. The real fight should be for better governance, stronger institutions, leaders that actually listen to the people, and citizens that can hold them responsible. I don't think we need another cycle of reset through the military. What the country needs is democracy that actually works for ordinary people. And what these people are saying is actually valid. Let's not get it wrong, because Nigerians have every right to demand change. But the answer is not to throw away democracy, it's to fix it, strengthen it, and make it serve the people the way it should. Well, what's your take on this? Do let me know what you think in the comment section. And if today is your first time coming across my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
In the past few years, many African countries have been taken over by the military. Guinea, Gabon, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and some other countries. And recently, Guinea Bissau is the latest for the military to take over from. So right now, one countries like Nigerian president, Cameroon president, Ghana president, and all other African countries, they need to sit up and understand that the people are actually frustrated with their style of governance. That's the truth. Because if you check all the countries that have been taken over by the military, they have the full support of the population. Why is it so? These are the things that the current president of all these African countries should be looking into. The people are rejoicing that they ousted you guys. Why is it so? What are you guys doing wrongly? They are supposed to do right. You see, look at Burkina Faso, for example. That is the president or the military dictator that has the highest support of people all over the world. His people love him. They love his policies. They love the way he's taking the country as a priority, the development in that country, and what he's doing for the people of that country. No election, just a coup, and he's a young man. Other countries, Gabon, it was the same thing when they took over. They were rejoicing. Mali, the same thing. Even the current one, Guinea Bissau, that just happened, it's the same thing. Why are Africans now happy with the military? It's because of the failure of democracy. It is time for African presidents who are still in power to wake up, because there is a level to which you can actually bribe the military officials to. The time is coming, they will not listen to your bribe again. They will just, the word is enough for the wise.
They forgot that this is the country where the army has no problem taking over. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 25 years in Guinea-Bissau, there has been 4 major successful coups. 4 major successful coups and multiple unsuccessful ones in Guinea-Bissau. So I knew this was coming from the go. This has been the biggest reason behind why that country isn't developing. Because on any given day in Guinea-Bissau, a coup may be attempted and everything will come to a standstill. So as expected, the army stepped in once again and has taken over. Ladies and gentlemen, African leaders are some of the most irresponsible people you can find in any part of the world. And I'm saying it. Many of them have lost their conscience when it comes to the repercussions of their decisions during elections. They make political decisions knowing very well that it would lead to deaths and chaos. And they have no problem doing so long as they would achieve what they have set out to do. They fight for control and power as though they have something special to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, all these coups and power struggles will amount to nothing apart from corruption and stealing in Guinea-Bissau. That's what they do. In many parts of Africa, that is the story. When their term of office is over, there will be nothing to show for after they have fought and struggled for this power. The idea of being in charge of what goes in and out of the country is what they want to have, especially the part where they decide the amount of money to print and how to distribute them. That is the number one reason most of these guys are chasing for power in Africa. In addition to fronting for loans and giving out national resources in exchange for foreign investors' money. They want foreign investors' money and international access. That is all. But they need to be president first. They have zero ideas for development. But it's good. It's good Guinea-Bissau has the type of military that will step in before things get murky. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no problem with that. If this Brigadier General Dennis Nkaha can rule Guinea-Bissau like anything close to what Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso, who will care? Ladies and gentlemen, who cares? Guinea-Bissau is such a small country with so much bauxite deposit. They are estimated to be around 2.2 million people. Why should anyone from that country struggle if not for bad leadership? Ask yourself. Since their independence in 1973, they've had 6 constitutional or civilian presidents. And guess what? 7 heads of state who came to power through coups or through interim leadership arrangements. It appears for every legitimate president they've had in Guinea-Bissau, there is a military coup coming afterwards. That has been the trajectory for a long time. Yet, these presidents don't see the need to act properly. If you have observed, army takeovers in recent times haven't been as bloody as it were some years past. They capture the president and few of his security team and make an announcement, and that's it. It should have never come to this in Africa after many years of trying to move away from all these coups and destabilizations. It should have never come to this. But when you see the level of corruption and wastage in government. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tempted to understand why some of these things are necessary. Sometimes. Brigadier General Dennis Nkaha, I can only wish you well and hope that you, Brigadier, will be like Captain Traore and bring the needed development to your country and to your people of Guinea-Bissau. As to whether you will allow for the restoration of the constitution or for the continuation of the elections, that's totally up to you, Brigadier. That's totally up to you and your team of the army. Just do what's best for the people of Guinea-Bissau, your country, and may the good Lord help you whilst you do that. I'm Cyrus, and this is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. If today is your first time watching us, be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for more. And I'll see you with another one in the next video. It is
basically what happened in Guinea-Bissau is quite disturbing to me, who believes in democracy. In fact, I feel more pained than the day I called Buhari to congratulate him when I lost the election as a sitting president. Because I've been quite particular about Guinea-Bissau. As a sitting president, then, Guinea-Bissau was in crisis. Started by 2012. By 2011, we have to go physically. We worked with them and made sure that by 2014, we went 2013, elections were conducted. In fact, it was so bad the day that I learned that the military man went to the office of the prime minister and slapped the prime minister in the office. It was that bad. And what is happening is like we are going back to those dark days of Guinea-Bissau, where the military can do whatever they think they can do. It's totally not acceptable. The elections were done peacefully. We were in the field. I was a part of the West African Elders Forum. Normally, we are not co-observers, so we didn't deploy observation teams across, but we observed within Bissau, the capital, and the neighboring settlements. But during the meeting of all heads of observation missions, and they gave accounts of all the observers gave their account. Nobody gave something different. The elections were peaceful. Conduct of the electoral officials, the security, the party agents, the voters. It was a good election, and one expected the result to be announced. Then while they were collating the result, then they are finished collating results. You know, results are, for presidential election are collated at different levels.
That's right.
The 9 regions, results were ready. So they were collating them at the capital. And when they were almost through, and we're all waiting for the result to be announced, then Mbelo announced that that's a coup. That they have taken over, they have arrested him. But from all indications, nobody arrested him. My conviction is that, and my charge to ECOWAS and AU is that they must announce that result. They have the results because AU and ECOWAS officials were at all the regions when the results were collated. They cannot change those results. They should tally all those results and announce. They cannot force the military out, but they must announce, let the world know who won that election. Let the world know who won that election. And they owe the world that responsibility.